Hello there, it's your friend Phil, Project Management Trainer and Coach. I've received emails from students, just like this student on the screen. This student feels extremely sad for a particular reason. They've spent thousands of dollars on PMP exam prep courses, but they still feel extremely weak and unable to take the PMP exam. They feel so weak that they don't know what to do. Now, if you're one of those students feeling weak and concerned at your PMP exam prep, I would advise you to look no further and take the PMP exam prep camp course. PMP exam prep camp is a 35 contact hour course that will take you through the PMBOK guide from the ground up. Because what's the point of spending all this money and then taking the PMP exam and failing the PMP exam? You don't want that to happen to you. So what I would advise is taking a course that is actually structured, and at the end of the course, you get the opportunity of taking a 200 question mock exam, a really crazy mock exam that will find out where you are in your PMP prep. Now, in addition to this crazy 200 question mock exam, you also get another mock exam I call the marathon mock. And there's not quite much like this out there. I challenge you to get stats from any education provider about what the sweet spot score is from their project management training mock exam. And if they can give you a number that has proven to be true time and time again, I'd say definitely look into working with that education provider. Because the trouble that I have with a lot of providers is that there's no historical information. It is just zero, or they refuse to share the information because there's so much variance between the results that they observe. On our mock exam, we found out that 70% is the sweet spot. We found this out 99.9% of the time, that when people take this mock exam and get a 70% or greater on their first try, they ace the PMP exam on their first try. So, to take this course, go to PMSucceed.com. PMSucceed.com is where you can register for either a 7-day training course to get you back on track if you've fallen off the wagon, or you can go for a 30-day training course, or even a 90-day or 180-day. It really depends on what you think fits your learning style. Some students have already come to say, Phil, there's no way I'm going to be able to take the exam based on the 5th edition, so I'm just going to hang tight till the 6th edition content comes out. And our 6th edition content is released the end of March, shortly before the exam changes. We have already started training firms on the 6th edition, but our course will not be out until March 2018. Now, if you're thinking of taking the PMP exam and you feel weak, you don't know what to do, you've spent money with all of the big boys in the project management training arena, like a student of ours, Debbie, who spent over $2,750 in going for a PMP training course and failed the exam not once but twice. Failed the PMP exam twice before realizing that there was training content out there for free that could help her. When Debbie came aboard our course, within a short period of time, she immediately began to find the gaps in her knowledge by going through this 35 contact hour course. It will help you find the gaps like she did. And shortly after, she said, I'm ready to take the real exam. And we said, hold on, you need to take the actual PMP mock first before taking the real exam. So she listened to us and she got a 60-something%. And I said, you know what, Debbie, I don't think it's a good idea. Don't do it. You can't do this right now. You need to take the mock exam again and you need to study up. So we gave her some advice about what to do. Debbie came along with a friend to study with us, and that friend seemed to have mastered the PMBOK dogma. I call it the PMBOK Guide Doctrine. And she mastered the PMBOK Guide Doctrine. And I said, you, April, seem to be ready to take the real exam. Not in 2 weeks like you're planning, but actually today. You can take the PMP exam right now and kill it. How did I know? She got over a 70% on our mock exam. I told her, April, don't waste another minute, go take the exam. She said, Phil, if I don't pass this exam, I'm going to hold you responsible. I said, give me a break. Tell me something sensible when you come out of the exam. I'm telling you, you're ready to kill the exam. So while her buddy Debbie studied, April went ahead, took the actual PMP exam, and killed it with 3 proficients. Right now we call them above targets. She got 3 above targets, or 3 proficients back then, and 2 moderately proficients, which by any standard is an awesome performance on the exam. For someone who was thinking of studying for another 2 weeks, our learning management system told me April needs to take the exam ASAP. She took the exam and was so excited that she had saved 2 weeks of her life. How? By not having to study for another 2 weeks. You know how that is. You know how studying for a day can be. So what am I trying to tell you? If you are a student who feels weak and dejected, and you feel there is no way I can face the exam right now, you need to go to PM Succeed. You need to go to PM Succeed so we can help you succeed. If you do it the right way, you'll be extremely glad that you did. Because lots of students, face it, they spend $2,000. Okay, someone says no, it's not $2,000. The number is $500. Whatever that number may look like, I don't care. The bottom line is if you feel weak, you feel weak. And the way to get amped up, beefed up, and get swole is doing a course that matters. Doing a course that teaches you. Doing a course that gives you mentoring and training. Some of you have got questions about this PMP exam because you've heard all sorts of things, but you don't have anyone to help you, to guide you. If you're one of such students, I would like to encourage you. First of all, I want you to subscribe to this channel because we've got some really exciting streams and videos coming up. So subscribe. And secondly, I would like you to engage. Send in comments, messages, concerns, and let's help guide your trajectory to success. And perhaps you feel the materials you're working with at the moment are great. That's fine. Keep doing what you know works, but you have to know that it works. What am I trying to say? You need to get that data. You need to get that historical information. Now, I'm not asking you to go jack anyone up. I'm asking you to simply ask the question, how reliable is this mock exam? What percentage of people that pass this mock exam actually pass the real exam? And if you can get that data from that trainer, that company, that provider, you've done great. Continue along that path and your chances of being shocked or surprised, like I was are going to be greatly reduced. You see, my PMP exam was really nothing to write home about. I thought I was ready. I thought I was prepared. I thought I was the big kahuna, the 800-pound gorilla on the block. And I thought, yeah, bring it on. I'm going to crush you, exam. I'm going to show you what I'm made of. I'm going to take you in my bare hand and I'm going to squeeze you till you become liquid, till you evaporate right there in my hands. That's how I felt about the PMP exam. But I got into the exam and question 1 made my eyes pop open the size of a golf ball. And I was in horror and shock. And I was petrified at the first question I saw. Question 1 was crazy. Question 2 was even crazier. And at that point, I went from being shocked to being absolutely horrified. Mega shocked. By the time I got to question 20, folks, I had taken a full 1 hour. That's right, 1 hour at question 20, and my face went from shock to sadness. I was so sad that I was going to fail the exam. Very, very unfortunate. After 6 months of preparation, I was going to fail this exam. Poor Phil. Phil was not prepared for what he saw on the exam. The next thing he started thinking about was, how am I going to tell people that I failed this thing? How will I tell them about failure? I thought about my mentor, Mary, who had been so gracious to give me a ton of training materials, the PMBOK guide, audio, video. And here I was. How am I going to tell Mary that I failed the exam? She's going to be as upset as I am about my failure. And then all of a sudden, the light bulb came on. And I thought, I ain't going to fail this thing. I need to come with a different strategy. Long story short, many of you have heard my story on the channel. If you haven't watched my story, go watch it, because I overcame that and came out. But the reason why I'm so passionate about training this exam is because I know how crazy it can be. This exam is a beast to many people. It is an exam that is on steroids. Many people have taken so many college exams, degree level exams, but nothing compares to the beast of an exam known as the PMP, Project Management Professional. So if you're feeling weak, folks, you need to do what you gotta do. Don't fail this exam. This is not about you coming to PM Succeed, but it's about making sure that you are on the right trajectory to success, to going higher in your career and not going lower in your career, as many people feel after they get PMP rejected. The opposite of getting PMP certified is like a rejected deliverable of sorts. You don't want to be this. You want to be this right here. You want to go to the next level. And if you're feeling a little bit unsure about yourself, my recommendation, again, go to pmsucceed.com. Now, maybe you're at the tail end of your studying and you feel, Phil, you know what? I don't want to start studying from ground zero all over again, but I just want to kick those tires. If you want to kick the tires, you know what to do. You need to sign up for our mock exams. Now, to sign up for our mock exams, you need to go to a different site, and that site is Praizion, Praizion.com. And check out our mock exam package. It only costs a few happy meals, $49.99. And I know lots of folks have seen other videos and taken the mock exams, and they're happy that they did. And one more thing, if you really want to kick the tires when you go to that site, just try out our 20-question mock. which is on the same page as this mock exam as a sample. Or you might even check out the Earned Value Management Apocalypse. Check out EVM Apocalypse. You can Google it. No one mentions Apocalypse with EVM, but I do, because I don't want the exam to be apocalyptical for you. I want it to be an exam in which you slay the test and move on to huge things. I want it to be the beginning of greatness. So again, if your training provider has given you materials that you're sure of, and you have the historical, don't forget the historical information. Thousands of people have taken this mock exam. How many of the people that passed this mock exam actually passed the real exam? How many people that passed this mock exam on their first try? Why do I talk about the first try? Because mock exams are like food. You get used to it and you can expect what is coming. But on the first try of that dish, you don't know what's coming. And that's why I say it's all about the first try, not the second try, not the third try. It's about the first try of any mock exam, because the PMP exam is so unique and so mysterious in a way, in that people who have taken this exam once, think about it, they failed it. They took it again the second time. They also failed it. And the third time failed it. And the fourth time failed it. And passed it on the fifth try. I know of 2 people who fit into this category of passing it on the 5th try. I know of several people passing it on their 3rd try. Some people on the 4th try. So why is it that you have to take this exam time and time and time again? The reason is because the questions are like no other questions you have faced elsewhere. A friend of mine recently took the GMAT and said the PMP is even crazier than the GMAT. I've had people in well-known Fortune 500 companies that are established project managers, they're PEs, professional engineers, yet they say that the PMP was crazier than anything they had ever seen. So what am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you not to bank on what you've done in the past, and to look at this exam as one that you really need to thoroughly prepare for and get the facts. Get the historical about whatever mock exam you're taking. You need to know what you're dealing with. Don't tell me that, oh, you passed our mock exam, so you'll pass the real exam. How do you know? Do you have evidence? Do you have data? What is the reliability? On our mock exam, don't forget, people who pass our mock exam on their first try, I'm being conservative here to say 99.9% of the time, it holds true that if they pass our mock exam on their first try, they pass the actual exam. That's right, the real exam on their first try. So what does it mean if someone doesn't pass our mock exam on their first try? It means that we give them recommended actions to correct those defects. We try our best to get people to the point where they know what to do. Some people have taken our mock exam and not scored very well, but it has prepared them to know what exactly to close in their gaps and what they can face on the real exam. A particular student came on board and studied and got a 56% on our mock exam. And knowing the history about our mock exam, he was absolutely scared. He was freaked out of his wits. Oh my gosh, I'm going to fail this exam. What do I do? He knew he needed to close his gaps in a massive way, so he went on and studied for another 2 days like crazy. At the end of the day, he ended up passing the actual exam. He had seen enough horror to know he needed to close his gaps in a huge way. So, if you come on board to be our student, just know you are in safe hands. We have trained several companies worldwide. Lots of the information you see on YouTube is the same kind of information that we give our students and even beyond. We have had students from various government institutions. We have trained lots of government organizations like the Department of Transport and NASA and the FBI and the US Army and the US Air Force, and I could go on and on. You are in great hands. We also have a ton of private clients, too many to mention. So if you're thinking of acing this test, don't equivocate. Don't stay on the sidelines thinking, should I jump in? Should I not? Should I sign up for the Praizion course? Should I not? There's only so much free stuff I can put out, folks. And I've put out an 8-hour course called 40 Days to PMP and CAPM Exam Success. I hope that shows you that I ain't playing games here, even if you don't have the funds to come on board our learning management system. There's no reason why you don't sign up. It's absolutely free for the 40 days to PMP. But lots of people think, oh, it's free, so it can't be that good. Don't fool yourself. Tons of students have passed the exam on my watch with the 40 days. But I often tell people it must be the 40 days as your breakfast plus you need some dinner and supper and lunch. And where does that stuff come from? It comes from the website PMSucceed.com. Or perhaps it comes from the materials that you're currently studying. Unfortunately, I can't vouch for any materials. So as you send me emails asking me to comment on providers, I will not do that. Because that would not be entirely fair, would it? Because you already know what my answer is going to be. Do not go anywhere else. Come to Praizion.com and we'll get you to where you need to be. So folks, with that, I hope I have answered numerous questions that come my way. I feel weak, Phil. I feel demotivated. I ain't doing well. How do I get ripped? How do I get swole? You need to follow the directions on the pack on PM Succeed. A knowledge area a day keeps the PMP blues away. Or a chapter a day, or a process a day. It's all about regularity. Come on board the system. Let's do this thing. But as you come aboard the system, I also want to correct a notion that there is a shortcut from point A to point B. There is no shortcut. There's only one way from where you are now to where you want to go. And that's putting in the time and the effort to move the books. Move those hours day by day. There was a particular exam I studied for, and having gone through 5 PMI exams before that one, I knew there was no way that I was going to have a shortcut from point A to point B. I had to put in the hours. I had to move those hours. I had to burn those hours down. And I'm talking about a totally different exam, but nonetheless, it comes in here. It's the ACP exam. I had to burn those hours down. I had been for courses, but if you don't put in the time and the effort, you can't expect to succeed. I put in the time and the effort, and approximately 365 days after I had applied to take that exam did I actually put in the full amount of time that I needed. Now, for whatever reason that happened, I was on the road quite a lot doing back-to-back trainings. But I had a plan and I stuck to the plan. PM Succeed will give you a trajectory to know when you've arrived at that destination. I found it a little bit hard, and I already had people on the team that were training the ACP, but I didn't have time to sit down with those people on my team to learn what I needed to. Someone on my team said, "Phil, I think you need to do this." And after Roy gave me the directions about what to do, I put in the time and effort. No pain, no gain. You got to burn those hours down to feel confident. I had to burn them down. And after I had burnt down all those hours, I said, yes, I'm ready to go. I went to Falls Church, Virginia, where I was carrying out training, checked into the Prometric Test Center, killed the ACP. Yes, it was 365 days after I had applied to take the exam, but the bottom line is I passed on the first try with a plan. It's all about a plan, folks. It's all about having a trajectory. It's all about knowing that your efforts will lead to success. I wish you all the best on your journey. If you feel unsure or you feel unhappy about your prep, it's a sign that you need some change. And I'm not talking about currency, I mean change in what you're doing. So make that change.